What positive impacts do you think will come from COVID-19? Reduced carbon emissions, I guess, from the lack of cars on the road. Also less air traffic. Weather prediction has been less accurate lately because there have been fewer planes flying and gathering the data. www.cnn.com web link. Till weather predictions rely on commercial planes. I think people are going to be a lot more conscious of germs and just public surfaces in general. I know for me it's something I think about constantly now. Yes, for one generation. I think it'll be the same effect that children of war grow to respect and work against, but their children think they are being extra and overbearing. People might finally start washing their hands. I worry that people will suddenly become even less hygienic than before for a while. Basically, it's over. I don't have to wash my hands anymore. People with the flu/cold wearing masks and taking precautions to not infect others. Seriously, pre-COVID I can't explain with exasperation the amount of times I've seen people that were clearly sick, coughing, wheezing, and sneezing just carrying on about their lives, like it doesn't affect those around them. I used to work at a Sprint store and a lady brought a sick kid in once. The kid threw up all over the floor. The lady was like, "Oh yeah, we just came from the doctor. She's got the stomach flu, and then you brought her with you, so you could upgrade your cell phone and infect everyone in the store?" Doesn't help that I was fairly pregnant at the time and paranoid about catching stuff. I really don't understand some people's choices. More help for people with disabilities. Online ordering, grocery delivery, food delivery. It's been nice. Saves me energy when I can make an order for something and do a contactless pickup, and they just put it in my car when I drive up. Not everyone has energy to spare for simple things like groceries or errands. A lot more curbside shopping and food options. Yes, I did a curbside pickup from Ikea, ordered over $1,000 online Friday morning, drove an hour to the store on Saturday morning, waited less than 5 minutes to be told which stall to park in, and they brought it all out, loaded myself in 5 to 10 minutes and off I went. Cost me $5 to avoid going into Ikea on a Saturday. Plus, if you're shopping alone, what do you do if you have 2 carts of stuff? Or even 1? I have to leave it on the loading area and make a dash for the car and hope no one takes anything. I'll be using it in the future for sure and hope they do keep it going. The new skills people have been learning. I've never even tried to plant anything, but I learned how to garden this year and now have fresh peppers and tomatoes. Companies and schools will not force people to come in when they are sick. I think a lot of people are realizing how terrible some of their relationships have been, whether it be with employers, spouses, family, etc. And I think a lot of people are just taking a lot less shit from people. I also think so many have revisited past hobbies, or taken up new ones, or truly became reacquainted with feeling at home in their homes. I think both these things will result in a lot of people just slowing down and reassessing what or who is worth keeping around in life. I know that's certainly been the case for me. I also think a large number of people who have experienced working from home will now refuse to make commuting a part of their workday, which will eventually lead to a lot of changes to how we work. This may eventually lead to changes to housing prices in different areas, etc. Edit. Thanks for all these awards everybody, that's really cool. Yeah, it was actually quite interesting seeing all the news of divorce rates in Japan skyrocketing when they went into a major quarantine. Couples that had been happily married for years and years have their relationships detonate because apparently the secret to their happy marriage was never seeing one another. More employers might realize that jobs can be done remotely, allowing more flexibility. More work from home positions might open up. Indeed, office space is extremely expensive, and at this point they'll likely realize how much money they're wasting. Money that could be going back into the business. If there's any positive economic connotations to this FUBA, it is this, and the further rise in tech. And this has the side effect, positive for most who may want to start a business, of lowering commercial real estate costs. Rents gotta go down. It's a bit of a pipe dream, but I'm hoping there will be a newfound respect for those working in the service industry. Edit. Oh my god, I'm effing delusional. Hopefully people will be more conscious of personal space. I'm not a touchy-feely person before this, and it's been nice that people aren't invading my bubble hardly now. We actually snapped of the celebrity worship mentality for a while. We also see how useless they are in a hindsight, and how pathetic they are when not in limelight. As a legally blind person who's been frustrated for years about job prospects, and finding something where I don't have to commute, COVID has been a godsend. Food delivery is great too. The downside is the increased cost of these items factoring in the cost of delivery. I guess if I'm not paying for any car ownership expenses it probably balances out. Edit. Holy crap, my inbox. Since many of you have asked how I'm legally blind. Currently my vision is roughly 20/90, and in Canada they consider 20/80 legally blind. I don't know why, but that's what my eye doctor has told me. Basically I was born with a condition called hydrocephalus, which is where the fluid doesn't drain out of your head. This caused optic nerve damage, so not even glasses or surgery can fix it. No one seems to know how to heal nerve tissue yet. I can see enough to get around and use computers. Up close things are fine, it's just that people more than 15 feet away start to look like a faceless Slenderman, and then fade into nothingness after about 50 feet or so. For work I work in an ad department for a company I live near enough to walk or bike to. I tell people my car payment is an Amazon Prime subscription. Even stuff on Prime takes a long time to get here now though. It's already mitigated the stigma associated with working at home. Also you can work from home when you're sick enough to think you might be contagious, but not so sick you can't at least do something on your laptop in bed. Less use of sick hours. Work is still getting done, and you're not putting others at unnecessary risk. If you have kids then it's also easier to juggle. Like if they are little and can't be alone, or are too young for school, or you don't have summer care, or they're sick, then you can still get some work done while taking care of them. Hopefully we move away from the culture of working through illness. You're not tough for going in any way, you're quite dumb. I understand that some people can't handle working from home, but if you can then it should be allowed. It makes you wonder if the point is to get your job done, or to micromanage your every action, because you're selling your time, rather than your output. Organizations with abysmally slow internet connections that have not been updated in decades will do so in order to support video conferencing. /cries in Australian. I only recently learned of the plight of Australian internet. It genuinely baffles me that any first world country doesn't have readily accessible 100 to 1000 MB/s internet available to most of its denizens. Many people are starting to realize that a lot of celebrities are pretty worthless and pathetic when they're not the center of attention for 5 seconds. Drive-in movies making a comeback. Yes, agreed. I hadn't been to a drive-in since the 90s, and thankfully they started popping up again here in California, so I was able to watch New Mutants and a bunch of classic actions movies this summer. Hygiene. I'm usually sick all the time, but I haven't been sick a day since lockdown. We've been opened back up for months now with social distancing and extra hygiene measures in place everywhere. It's stunning. My kids haven't been sick either. It's like a miracle. Who knew people's gross hands and spittle was impacting my life so much? That actually explains why I haven't been sick since January. I usually get sick around June and September like clockwork, but I feel fine. I have started seeing family more regularly online playing games I had no idea about. Jackbox Point TV. It's been fun, and never would have happened without the pandemic. Plus older family members are bored and want to talk for literally an hour about mundane stuff. I've learned a lot about them that I'd never known my whole life. Plus my dogs get a ton more exercise, and I've saved money not going out, plus I'm eating healthier with my own cooking. My father has pulmonary fibrosis, which is going to kill him in the next year or so. It's a hereditary disease, which has affected 3 generations of our family in a row. You die from increased scarring of the lungs. Through research into COVID, there's already a frick ton more understanding into the reversal of lung scarring, and potentially a cure on the horizon. I might not die a slow and painful death from this. After all, they can reverse the scarring. Where can I read more about this? Mine got thrashed. Sorry man, there is not a way. Respiratory therapist here. And just like that, I am wrong. www.google.com web link. The best people in the world are the ones who can say, oh well, look at that, I'm wrong. Sociologically, I hope we see paid sick days become normal in the US. Scientifically, I hope we can learn from this to develop good vaccines for a bunch of other existing diseases that have eluded us so far. In Australia we have paid sick leave, but we don't use them when sick. We keep them for nice days and chuck a sickie and go to the beach. I'm hoping that bathrooms in restaurants will become completely hands-free. I hate that the pull side of the door is on the inside, and usually there's no paper towel dispensers anymore to use as a glove to touch the sink/door handles. I vote for more foot pedal controlled faucets and toilets, because these motion sensors that never work make me question if I'm a ghost roaming the earth. My dad is in a wheelchair and this sounds like hell to me, but I'm sure for lots of people it's great. Italy has it figured out. They're not pedals, but large rubber buttons sticking out of the floor. You can roll over them easily,